Why are all big investment firms in the US filing for a Bitcoin ETF? Well, someone says Bitcoin is a cult.
It is a cult.
But what kind of cult is it though?
It is pretty much the first time in the history of the world we have had a cult, cult coupled with a financial instrument.
What do you make of BlackRock now trying to pursue with an ETF? You have Citadel, you have a number of Wall Street players who, by the way, for a very long time actually were very negative, skeptical, just like you.
Yes. I started positive on Bitcoin because I was disappointed with the Federal Reserve policy. But then I realized that you're going from Caribbean to saylor, in other words, from something bad to something vastly worse. At least with Federal Reserve, we have transparency, we know what's going on, we can influence it. There's a system. But with crypto, tend to concentrate among big players, and it is how can I explain it? It's distracting, and effectively, what has happened thanks to crypto is we're going to have Fed now rolling out next month. We're going to have the central banks are focusing on making transaction both easier and faster for.
So here are the latest Bitcoin ETF filings. Which one do you think gets approved first? Fidelity Investments preparing to submit a spot Bitcoin ETF. According to this article, they are close to submitting a filing for a spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund. Remember, this would be their second attempt. In 2021 they took a shot at this, but it was quashed by the SEC. Are they going to be successful this time? Only time can answer that question. It all started on June the 15th when Blackrock took this giant step right here, filing for a Bitcoin ETF. Will the SEC approve this? Leave your thoughts in the comment section, but do you know that a lot of firms have been doing the same? In fact, at present, all roads lead to Bitcoin ETF. The SEC has a lot of approvals to make. For example, this firm here, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, filed for a Bitcoin ETF also. If you don't know how big they are worth over 1.4 trillion US dollars in asset management. So this right here is a big firm. Remember, this is not their first time of filing for a Bitcoin ETF. In 2021, they took a shot at this also, but the SEC didn't approve it. So in summary, here's what's been happening in the past 12 days. On the 27th of June, a $4.2 trillion asset manager, Fidelity, to file for a Bitcoin ETF. Remember, on the 26th, Hong Kong's largest bank, the HSBC, to offer Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs to customers. And on the 23rd, the SEC approves the first leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF. Don't forget. On the 21st of June, this investment firm here, Valkyrie, filed for a Bitcoin ETF. On the 20th, Invesco, worth over 1.5 trillion US dollars, filed for a Bitcoin ETF. And on the 20th, 87 billion US dollars asset manager, Wisdom Tree, filed for a Bitcoin ETF. And remember, it all started with BlackRock, like I told you earlier on the 15th of June, a $9 trillion asset manager, $9 to $10 trillion asset manager, BlackRock, filed for a Bitcoin ETF. What do you guys think is happening? And more companies are warming up to fight for their own Bitcoin ETF. Remember, this Katewuzak Investments says it is first in line for spot Bitcoin ETF. If you don't understand what she's saying, she's pretty much saying that they filed for a Bitcoin ETF first before BlackRock. So she is kind of insinuating that they should get approval from the SEC. If the SEC is going to be giving any approval in this regard at all, they should get the approval first before BlackRock, according to this article here on Bloomberg. So it's pretty clear now that there's something these firms have foreseen that we all have not seen, or probably are not paying attention to. Whatever it is, in my opinion, is most likely going to be bullish for Bitcoin. This is it for this video, and this is Briggs LBs. This guy Ken signing off.